welcome to the IT Uni Gurus. This is John. Today we're going to talk about note-taking. The particular method we're going to discuss today is the Cornell note-taking method. Now, for this to work, you require a pre-ruled page, and in front of you is what we're looking at by the way of a pre-ruled page. Typically, if you have a notebook, there will already be a margin up and down the left-hand side. You can ignore that. What you should do then is go from the bottom and rule 6 to 7 lines up from the bottom all the way across the bottom of the page. And then about a third of the way in, rule an extra vertical margin from the top line or the second or third top line down the page to the line you've drawn at the bottom, and then rule a line across the top, leaving 2 or 3 lines at the top. Now, the things we'll be using this for are as follows. We'll have keywords and headings down this side here, but we do that almost last. We have a summary at the bottom, and we have the main part where we take our notes during the class first time round. So this is the only section. The grey section here is the only part that we will write in during the lecture itself. Everything else is for post-class work. Okay, so here's a set of notes. Now, I've labelled it the first chapter as an introduction to database. It's the name of the book I'm using. I've dated it, I've referenced the pages I've taken out of this, and then I've just taken notes as the bloke's been teaching us. And this is what I managed to write down. I have then gone back, and while I was writing this, I made up my quick-fire abbreviation and came back and highlighted those. So OO means object orientation. SQL is, well, SQL is SQL, stands for Structured Query Language. Primary keys has been shortened to PK. Foreign key has been shortened to FK. They're my abbreviations. I can see them fairly easily. And I've even got a little table here. And that's all my notes that I've managed to squirrel away while I've been in class. Within an hour, ideally, if not within one day, I get back a hold of these notes, and this is what I do. I rewrite them and I summarize them. And notice here's something new. I know from the lecture and from my course outline that I'm going to need to know 6 uses for a database, 3 types for the database, 10 SQL commands, and 2 keys. So let's see. Now, my summary is 3 or 4 lines. So I've summarized this in 3 or 4 lines, and then the next part is I've actually written in my key for my black book and my shorthand, and I've answered the questions that I'm going to need for this as per what the lecturer's instructed or what I found in the course guidelines. So I have 6 uses of databases. I have 3 types of databases. I've got 5 SQL commands that I need to know. Notice it was a mistake before. I thought it was 10. I only need 5 at this point. And I've got 2 keys. Now, the thing is, with this, if I can manage to do this, no I can't, almost. What I can do to learn this stuff is further down the track, make a list of the 6 uses, the 3 types, 6 commands and 2 keys, and write it down on another piece of paper, and then see how I went. And effectively, from my notes taken in class, I have an aid to memory tool or a learning tool very similar to a flashcard, and I can write that out a few times. Now, when we're learning like this for our memory work, we should be using every sense we possibly can. That is, looking at it, and reading out loud, so that when you're actually speaking the notes, you're hearing the notes yourself. You can't really smell or eat the notes at this point. If we could, we'd figure it out and we'd give you a crack at it. But the more senses you deploy, the more interactive you are in your learning, the easier it is and the faster you will retain the knowledge. So again, that's been the Cornell note-taking system. You need to have a pre-ruled notebook. You only write in the largest third component that we've just covered up and now uncovered again. We make a summary with 3 or 4 lines at the bottom, and then we have our key terms and must need to know things in the margin at the end. A key for any abbreviations we've made in these notes so it makes sense, and it all starts to cement into the mind permanently very early in the process. We'll see you in the next session.